They started OTAs this week, and I know, especially just having conversations, you being a mentor of mine, when I came here, I reached out to you just how to make the team as an undrafted guy. OTAs were always important for guys like
Oh,
ourselves.
yeah.
What's something that's just top of mind for you as you think about back to your playing career that stood out to you during OTAs? Like what do you think back? You got any stories, any memories from your OTAs days?
Oh man, it was honestly, when you're undrafted, man, anything goes. And I think some of those guys, you were probably a star at your school or wherever you went, and you still went undrafted, so you can kind of feel a little defeated. Hopefully, you play with a chip on your shoulder. But these OTAs are very crucial for you to get in that playbook. It's not time to study Denver as a city and understand what stars. No, you only focus is inside those gates over there, and focus it on football, man. I'm going to my room. I was in my playbook every single day. You don't know how many reps you're going to get. You don't know the quality of the reps you're going to get. You know you're going to get something, and you got to stand out, man. It's run game, whatever it is. You got to figure out a way to get on the coach's radar in these OTAs, because you want to get there when everybody comes back. Not just the rookie mini camps and that kind of stuff. You want it when everybody is in the building, and you want to be able to find a way to stand out.
Well, Rod, thank you so much for joining us on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. And I want to ask you about one of the guys that will be grinding this new playbook is Jaylen Waddle, the new addition. What do you think he brings to this Denver Broncos team?
You know what? One thing he does, he brings a veteran leadership. You know what? I was thinking about that because I knew you guys were going to bring it up. I was thinking about who he can be for us coming up. Emmanuel Sanders come to mind. Benny and I, we real close to Emmanuel. But Emmanuel was a free agent guy who came from Pittsburgh and comes over to Denver, and he makes a huge impact. I mean, just they love him. And plus, we won a Super Bowl with him. And that's what you want. It's a guy with speed. He has the ability to get open, make the tough plays. He did it in the Super Bowl. He did it throughout the regular season, throughout his career. And for me, I see Jaylen Waddle adding that level for us. When it first announced and we gave up a first-round pick, and I said, I think we're giving up a lot. They took it and just said a lot. They didn't say everything I said. So let me say everything I said. Because a first-round pick in the NFL, to me, is still very valuable. And if you plan on using this guy at a high level, that's the only reason you get him in the first round. Oh, you give up a first-round pick. I understand there was some other stuff involved. But when you're planning on using the guy of his caliber with his experience a certain way, it's a good deal. You know what I'm saying? It's a very good deal. And I look for him to be able to do definitely and I look at his stats, because I'm big on this, and I used to tell Ben this all the time, is yards per catch. What are you doing when the football's in your hand? And one thing he does, he moves the sticks. With this offense, he can get that ball and move those sticks every time. Sharp taught me. I was teaching Benny and other guys from DT and all the other guys. I told, hey, listen, I need to get 10.5 yards a catch. That means every time I catch the ball, it's a first down. Jaylen Waddle has done that throughout his career. I used to tell Benny that all the time. With this offense and the different weapons we have, and I know you guys will go through some of those weapons, I mean, it would be a sin for us not to get that kid the football. But this offense and the way it's designed, you can get the football to whoever you want. And we have a lot of weapons. I love what Coach is doing by adding the weapons. Bo Nix going into a crucial year, not just because he's coming off the injury. I think Bo is going to get even better, because his second year to me was phenomenal. If we didn't have him, we wouldn't have ran on that 11, 12 game winning streak that we had last year if Bo Nix wasn't that quarterback.
Yeah, Court has been the Broncos' #1 receiver for 8 years or something like that now. What do you think it means for him to now have Jaylen Waddle there as his teammate, but also potentially kind of competing for touches?
People always talk about this #1, #2 mess. I don't buy into that. The first two guys on the field at receiver are your #1s, both sides. And if you don't get some production from both sides, all this, I'm #1, and you arguing about who's catching. No one argues about winning. No one fighting for how we win in football games. If you look at when I started, when I got a chance to start and get on the field every day, every down with Ed McCaffrey or whoever it was, Ed was my guy. We both made sure that the team paid whoever. If they try to roll to my side, Ed was going to kill him, and vice versa. That's what you got to have. You got to get out of this trying to make them compete. We had a point, and I was thinking about this earlier. We had myself, Ed McCaffrey, Shannon Sharp. We all had close to 3,000 yards collectively. We had over 3,000 yards collectively, at least 25 to 30 touchdowns collectively, and we had the number one running back in the league at the same time. So all this 1 and 2 mess, no, you might catch 4 balls this game, 7 the next, but what are you doing with it? Are you productive? I think Waddle helps Courtland a lot. But let me say something real quick. We got Mims, we got Humphreys, we got Franklin, we got Bryant. These guys made plays last year like you couldn't believe. And I'm like, man, we got the people. If we get this running game going, a true running game, not a run when we need to run. No. Establish the run where people have to fear it and they have to move that box down. They have to bring 8 into the box. I think Bo Nix I'm telling you, Bo Nix will be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, top 5, because there's some great quarterbacks in the league because of the balance that he'll be able to operate from. And he won't have to win the game himself. He'll let his team and get the ball into the right hands. And I think Webb is going to have a great job on his hand playing with all the little toys that he's going to have to play with.
Hey, Rod, I think during the season last year, you and I definitely talked a couple times about the intermediate passing game. Yeah. Can you talk to the audience about why that is so important and how Jaylen Waddle now takes that over? Because I think the middle of the field, that 7 to 12 yards, you're running the deep curls, you're running the basic routes. Can you talk about why that is important and how that changes the dynamic of the offense?
Jaylen Waddle is a speed merchant. He's got something the rest of us aren't blessed with. And I'm talking about myself. He's got the ability to get off that line so fast that you have to bail. And you have to fear his deep ball. And then he's going to get in the end zone and do that dance on you. You don't want that. So you're going to bag up. And that intermediate passing game, and I'm going to be honest, man, the last 3 years, Benny and I talk about it all the time. I said, dude, we don't have an intermediate passing game. We don't have the quick slant game. Courtland did something early in his career. But when Coach Payton took over, we lost that intermediate passing game. That 5 to 12 yard range where you get the slants, you get the hooks, you get the in routes, you get the square outs, the true square outs, the 10 to 12 square outs. We didn't have a passing game for that. Here's where our tight ends come into play. We got some really good tight ends, but you don't see them catching the ball and moving that stick. Remember, 10.5 yards is what you need per play. You'll win every football game, and I know that's not going to happen. But Jaylen Waddle with his speed, and you have combination of him and Courtland on the same side, him and Mims on the same side. Now, you could create some dynamics that'll make a defense put them on their heels. And remember, a great first down pass of 6-7 yards is like an excellent running play. If you ran the ball for 6 yards, everybody's excited. Sometimes it seems like if you throw it for 5 or 6, everybody's upset because everybody wants the deep ball. No, we need that intermediate passing game. And we need to develop that right now, starting in OTAs, to get the quarterbacks comfortable with it, the receivers comfortable with it, and then those backs getting out into their passing lanes when the play is dialed up or they stop it. We dump it off. We're still going to get 5 to 7 yards with our running backs because they catch the ball very well out the backfield.
Rod, you got me so fired up about this Broncos offense specifically, and we know what the defense is. But at that third wide receiver spot, you mentioned all of those guys made plays last year. A lot of young talent still developing. How do you think that third wide receiver spot evolves this year? Do you think one guy jumps out and takes it? Do you think it's a rotation, an even one? How do you think that works out?
You know what? Honestly, it's hard. Franklin had a great year, man. I saw an interview from him earlier this year. He wants to get to that 1,000 yards and this and that. And I was just itching to say something. Of course, I didn't say that to the I'm like, hey, man, add a Super Bowl in there. Now, don't just look at your 1,000. Put that in your head early. I want to win a Super Bowl because when you win a Super Bowl, that means a lot of stuff is clicking. And sometimes it's not just you. But Franklin had a great year last year. I would be shocked if he can't get phased out, so to speak. Mims, when he got a chance to play receiver, which me and Benny talked about that, I'm really looking for Mims to get a chance to run routes. You know, he has a couple gadget plays here and there. He made some of the biggest plays during the season, especially the bomb in the playoffs and stuff like that he made. And it's almost like, well, you dial those up sparingly. No, we can have that all the time. The guy got drafted as a receiver, not a return guy, even though he's a Pro Bowl return guy. So you can't take that away from him either because he does a great job at that. Pat Bryant is probably some of the best young talent we've had in a long time. Got to stay healthy as well. And Lil Jordan Humphrey, I just love watching him play ball. Lil Jordan Humphrey reminds me of Benny, just the way he goes out there. He didn't get that many reps, but he makes his rep count. And that's what matters. And so that battle, here's the great thing about what you said. Who's going to stand out? whoever it is going to have to outdo the other talent that he already knows exists because they've been with him for the last year. So I look forward to it being a great battle. I really like what Franklin does. I think Mims in that slot if Waddle goes in the slot, man, we really can create some problems.
What do you think the identity of the Broncos is the team as a whole right now?
We have a defensive identity. No one identifies our offense. Our defense has been lights out. I definitely got to give Coach Joseph, man, and Pat Surtain for leading those guys. Zach, man, these dudes, they've been balling out like you can't believe on defense. And when you can get an offense that complements that, it makes it so hard for teams to win against you as a whole. They're stifled with our defense, and I really believe the missing piece for us last year was a consistent running game. Our running game was not, to me, up to par, and it wasn't from lack of running the ball. I didn't think we didn't run the ball enough, to be honest, to establish the run, where running backs stay in. Like when Dobbins was in, leave him in. Don't take him out until he's tired. And I'm telling you, Rook had a great year last year running the ball. He could emerge as easily the starter. Honestly, he didn't do anything wrong in his rookie campaign to not be a starter. But can we feed him? Can we feature him? Can we feed him? And man, I'm telling you, I of course I want our identity to be on offense, but offensively we didn't have an identity. We didn't establish the run well. We didn't pass the ball well. We did a little bit of all of it when we needed to. We made plays and got to the AFC Championship game. And all that, but I think once you establish, especially up front on the offensive line, that's where you establish who you're going to be as a team. Are we going to be a smash mouth? We're going to hit you in the mouth. We're going to line up. We're going to run right here, and we dare you to stop us. As soon as you think you're going to stop us, we're going to play action pass and go over the top. And that right there makes us dangerous. And I think Davis Webb is in the lab for sure. And coach give him the true reins to let him call those plays. He's got a third-year Bo Nix. He's got heck of weapons at receiver. They loading up the running back room. Our tight end position, to me, is those guys are solid. It's just that the role that they had to play was not significant in the production. But I think if they add that to it, and he can do that. He's had a whole year, and we know he's good enough because teams wouldn't have wanted him to be their head guy and interviewing him if he wasn't that good of a play caller. So this year, I really look forward to him really dialing up some things that we haven't seen, getting the intermediate passing game, being able to smash mouth football when we need to, and put a lot of points on the board.
Rod, last question for us. You and Ed McCaffrey won 2 Super Bowls together. Dynamic duo. Demarius and Emmanuel, dynamic duo at the receiver position. Now you got Courtland and Waddle. What are their stats going to be this year? Or what do they have to be this year for the Broncos to win a Super Bowl?
I'll say this: both of them have 1,000. Both of them have 1,000. We've always had 2 guys have 1,000 when we won the Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. Both guys had 1,000, and the 1,000 is a couple different ways. Some people think, well, when the guys catch a lot of passes, well, you could have a terrible team and you're behind all the time and you're throwing it. But when you establish that run. And remember, we're going to still have 1,000-yard rusher too. So I'm thinking 3,000 from the receivers, those 2 at least 1,000. That third guy going to probably be 700, 800. He ain't going to be no 200, 300. And I think they'll have 15 touchdowns between the 2 of them, minimum. And that's how you're going to, because here's the thing. You can't sit there and stack the box and say, we're going to stop your passing game. And I forgot the other little piece that makes us even more dangerous. Our quarterback is mobile. Yep. He's not your Lamar Jackson, but he's way more mobile than 98% of the other quarterbacks in the league. And when he's on the run, his passing game is sky high when he's on the run, but his legs at the end of the season really, really kept drives alive, and that's where you get the points. And if you want to win a Super Bowl from a receiver standpoint, those guys are going to get their 1,000, but here's the thing, they got to get dirty in the running game. And that's one thing I loved about Courtland. I've told him this. Mims has done a good job of that. I saw Pat doing it. I saw Franklin doing it. Those guys stick their face mask up, in there and try to get into the DBs and help those running backs break some of those big runs. And that's how you win it, man. It's a committee. It's a bunch of guys. And what you do is you don't focus on the stats. You let the stats just pile up according to who you're playing. And one game you might have 3 or 4, next game you might have 10. But at the end of the day, did we win? And I think we'll have this group that I think and I'm gonna say this last piece. I appreciate Coach bringing the majority of those guys back. You know, we didn't sign a lot of free agents. Waddle, of course, is the big deal. And the reason I like that, because all of them are pissed. We lost the AFC Championship game. I got to do the speech the night before the game to those guys. And I remember asking the room, I said, how many of you guys ever won a Super Bowl? One guy on their team had been to the Super Bowl. And I said, just imagine. And I remember I talked to Courtland. I remember talking to McGlinchey. I remember Bowles. I said, remember, these guys 9 years, 10 years in the league now. And they never sniffed the Super Bowl. They haven't been there. And those guys are pissed. They had a taste, you know. And I'm glad he brought them back, because when we lost the AFC the previous year to Jacksonville before we won our first Super Bowl, we brought a majority of those guys back. And the majority of those guys knew what it takes to get to that point. But at that moment, you know what it takes to get over the hump. And I think bringing them all back, having Singleton and those guys back, man, it's going to just add to the dynamic of this season.
Hey, man, that's Rod Smith,
Love it.
the legend, man.
Fired
Appreciate you. Over
I am kinda hyped,
11,000
I'm
yards, 68 touchdowns, 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 second-team All-Pros, 3 Pro Bowls, man. Ring of Famer, man. A friend, a legend. Appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.